Common Industries 2, lecture number 21 is Transparent Soap Production. Table of Contents. The table of contents of this lecture are soap formulation, supplemental material, base water and scent, surfactant tests, cold process soap, transparent soap, hazards. So in this lecture you will learn about the formulation of soap, how soaps are produced, which are the supplemental materials which are required in the making of soap, how base water and scents are added in the formulation of soap. After the formulation of soap, there are certain tests are performed. The surfactant test is performed to check the effectiveness of soap. And what is a cold process soap? How we can prepare the soap by using a cold process. And what is transparent soap and how it can be prepared. Then what are the hazards? Soap formulation. So, which materials are used in the formulation of soaps? Fats and oil. Fats and oils are an important components which are used in the formulation of soap. Commercial manufacturers use 1 to 7% excess fat to reduce the hardness of soap, to produce a dense creamy lather, and to leave the skin feeling smooth and soft. The commercial manufacturers use the excess fat to produce the soft soap. About 1 to 7% excess fats are used to make the soft soap and to remove the hardness that is present in the soap. So, the soaps which are produced from the excess fat are creamy, they produce a dense creamy lather, and the soaps which are made from the excess fat makes the skin smooth and soft. Effective soaps are made from the mixture of fats and oils because each component contributes different properties. These properties are determined by the type and percentage of fatty acids in each fat and oils. How we can make the effective soaps? The effective soaps are made from the mixture of fats and oils. So, different mixtures of fats and oils are used in the formulation of soap. And each component of the fat and oil has different properties which makes the soaps more effective. How we can determine these properties? The properties are determined by the type and percentage of fatty acids. So, which type of fatty acids and what percentage of fatty acid is present in each fat or oil. By determining their type and percentage of fatty acids in each fat or oil, we can determine their properties. For example, lauric acid, the predominant fatty acid in coconut oil, 48.0%, produce a hard and effective cleanser with a fluffy lather. So, the soap which are produced from lauric acid are produced from the coconut oil. There are fatty acids present in the making of these soaps, and here the fatty acids are predominant. About 48% coconut oil is used in making of this soap. These soaps produce hard and effective cleanser with fluffy lather. So these soaps are effective because they produce the hard soap and they are used as an effective cleanser. Moreover, they produce a fluffy lather, but they have certain disadvantages. Unfortunately, lauric acid does not condition the skin nor provide a stable lather. Therefore, other fatty acids are guaranteed or warranted. So, the lauric acid has a disadvantage. The lauric acid has a disadvantage that it does not condition the skin. It does not produce a stable lather. Therefore, the soaps which are made from lauric acid are not recommended. To make the effective soaps, the other fatty acids are recommended. And the soaps which are made from other fatty acids are warranted. Supplemental material. So what are the supplemental material that are required to produce a effective soap? The supplemental material gives the percent maximum recommended usage of fats and oil based on therapeutic benefits, cost, and fatty acid contents. So there are supplemental materials are used in making of the soap. These supplemental materials have certain benefits. They give the percent maximum recommended uses of fats and oil, and it is based on their therapeutic benefits, cost, and fatty acid contents. Beeswax and coconut and palm oil are used to harden a soft soap. So, beeswax, coconut, and palm oil are used in making of hard soap, or they are used to hard the soft soap. Manufacturers preferentially use coconut and palm oil because they are cheap and they produce an effective cleanser with fluffy leather. So, the beeswax, coconut and palm oil has a disadvantage that they sometimes harden a soft soap. To make an effective soap, the manufacturers prefer to use the coconut and palm oil in making of the soap because they have certain advantages. They are cheap and they produce an effective cleanser with fluffy leather. So, due to the advantages of the coconut and palm oils, they are preferred to used by the manufacturers. Base water and scent. So besides other materials, base water and scent are used in the formulation of soap. After selecting the fats and oils, the mass of the required sodium hydroxide is determined from the sponification sap value of the soap. So, when the fats and oils are selected, we can determine the mass of sodium hydroxide. To determine the mass of sodium hydroxide, the sponification value or the sap value is used. The sap value of the soap is calculated from the sum of the product of the sap value of each fat and oil and the percent of this component in the soap. How we can determine the sap value? We can determine the sap value by using this formula. We can take the sum of the product of the sap value which is present in each fat and oil and the percent of the component in the soap. So, by using this formula, we can determine the sap value because sap values are defined as the number of milligram of potassium hydroxide per gram fat or oil. The sap value of the soap is converted to mass of potassium hydroxide per gram fat or oil and subsequently multiplied by the total mass of fats and oils. How we can define the SAP values? We can define the SAP value as a number of the milligram of potassium hydroxide per gram fat or oil. The SAP value is converted to the mass of potassium hydroxide per gram fat or oil, and then it is multiplied by the total mass of fats and oils. Since potassium hydroxide is typically used to make liquid soap, while sodium hydroxide is used to make solid soap, the required mass of potassium hydroxide is converted to mass of sodium hydroxide. So for making of liquid soap, mostly we use the potassium hydroxide because the potassium hydroxide is used as a soft soap. So for making of liquid soap, we prefer potassium hydroxide. For making of hard soap or the solid soap, we prefer sodium hydroxide for the formulation of solid soap. In this way, the required mass of potassium hydroxide is converted to the mass of sodium hydroxide because commercial soap contains excess fats and oils to moisturize the skin. So, there are excess fats which are present in the commercial soap. These excess fats and oils gives the moisturization to the skin. Whipping cream is used for its high fat content. The whipping cream consists of high fat content, and these whipping creams are used in the formulation of soap. They also give the moisturization effect to the skin. When replacing all water with milk, the milk must be frozen prior to the addition of paste. Otherwise, proteins in the milk denature, causing a tan to brown colored soap. So, for adding the milk in the making of the soap, we replace all the water with the milk, and before using the milk in the making of the soap, we must have to frozen the milk before their addition to the paste because there are proteins which are present in the milk, and these proteins denature the skin and causing the skin tan to brown color soap. To reduce the formulation of fibrous crystals and to make transparent soap, castor oil, ethanol, glycerin and sugar are added to the hard soap solution. So, to reduce the formulation of fibrous crystals and to make the transparent soap, there are certain ingredients which are used in the making of transparent soap. These ingredients are castor oil, ethanol, glycerin and sugar. These ingredients are added to the hard soap solution to make the transparent soap. The molded soap is cooled slowly. So, the molten soap is cooled slowly. After it will be hardened. Surfactant test. So, what is the purpose of surfactant test and why it is performed? The prepared soap and commercial surfactants are tested for pH field and effectiveness, ability to lather in hard and soft water. So, when the soaps are prepared, they are tested to check their effectiveness, either they are effective or not. So, the prepared soap and commercial surfactants are tested to check their pH value and their effectiveness. Either they are effective to produce lather in hard or soft water. So, when the soap and commercial surfactants passed all the tests, there goes towards the finishing process. Cold process soap. How we can make the soap using the cold process. Combine and stir the deionized water and half of the sodium hydroxide in a 250 ml beaker on a magnetic stirring plate. To make a soap through cold process, we can combine and stir the deionized water. After combining and stirring of the deionized water, we can take the sodium hydroxide in 250 ml beaker, and this beaker is kept on a magnetic stirring plate. After the solid has dissolved, add the remaining sodium hydroxide. So, when the solid is dissolved in the magnetic stirring plate, we can add further sodium hydroxide in it. Stir and heat all fats and oils until melted in a 400 ml beaker on a magnetic stirring hot plate. So, after dissolving the sodium hydroxide, we will stir and heat the all fats and oils. After this, they are melted in a 400 ml beaker by placing it on a magnetic stirring hot plate. Slowly pour the base solution into the beaker of fats and oils and stir until trace is observed. So after stirring and heating of fats and oils and dissolving of sodium hydroxide, we will slowly pour the base solution in the beaker of fats and oils. After this, we will stir this solution. We will stir this solution until a trace is observed. To test for trace, dip a stirring rod into the mixture and wave it over the surface. If the drizzled material leaves a pattern on the surface before sinking, the soap has traced. So, how to test for a trace? To test for a trace, dip a stirring rod into the mixture. After dipping a stirring rod into the mixture, wave this mixture over the surface. After this, if the drizzled materials leave a pattern on the surface before sinking, we can come to the point that the soap has traced. So, this is a procedure to test for trace. Add scent and cream and stir the mixture until trace is reached again. After the test for a trace, we will add further scent cream in the mixture and stir this mixture when the trace is observed again. When the trace is reached again, we will go towards the further process. Pour the soap into the molds or weighing boards. So, after testing of a trace and adding scents and cream and stirring of the mixture, we will pour the soap into the weighing boards or the molds. After this, place the molds in an insulated chest for 1 week so that the evolving heat will harden the soap. So how to harden the soap? We will place the molds in an insulated chest for about 1 week. So after placing the molds in an insulated chest for about 1 week, the heat will be evolved. So after the evolution of heat, the soap will be hardened. So this is a process to prepare the cold press soap. Transparent soap. So how we can make the transparent soap? Combine fire salts and alcohol in a 500 ml 3-necked round bottom flask equipped with a condenser and 2 ground glass toppers. To make the transparent soap, we need fat salts and an alcohol. The fat salt and alcohol are combined in a flask. This is a 500 ml 3-necked round bottom flask where the fat salts and alcohol are combined. This flask is equipped with a condenser and two round glass toppers. After this, place the flask on heating mantle on a magnetic stirring press. So, after combining of fat salts and an alcohol, we will place the flask on a heating mantle on a magnetic stirring plate. Stir and heat the mixture until fats have melted. So, by placing on a magnetic stirring plate, we will stir and heat the mixture. So, when these mixtures are stirred and heated, the fats are melted. To make the base solution, stir the deionized water and half of the sodium hydroxide in a 250 ml beaker on a magnetic stirring plate. For making of a base solution, we will stir the deionized water and half of the sodium hydroxide in a 250 ml beaker, and this deionized water and the sodium hydroxide are placed on a magnetic stirring plate. So, by using this method, the base solution is prepared. Following dissolution, add the remaining sodium hydroxide. So, the sodium hydroxide and the deionized water, which are kept on the magnetic stirring plate, after the dissolution, we will add the further sodium hydroxide. Slowly pour the base solution through the condenser into the round bottom flask. So, when these sodium hydroxide are dissolved, we will pour the base solution by using a condenser into the round bottom flask. Using a permanent marker, draw a line on the outside of the flask to indicate the level of liquid. So, for the indication of the level of liquid, we will draw a line on the outside of the flask. We will draw a line on the outside of the flask by using a permanent marker. So, a line is drawn to indicate the level of a liquid. If the level drops, add more ethanol slowly through the condenser to bring the level to the line. So, how we bring the solution to the level of the line? If the level of the mixture or the solution is dropped, we will add the further ethanol in this mixture. So, when the ethanol are added in the mixture through the condenser, they will bring the level to the line. Stir the mixture at reflex for 2 hours. So, when the mixture brings to the level of the line, we will stir it at reflex for about 2 hours. After this, to make a sugar solution, stir and heat the deionized water and sugar in a 250 ml beaker on a magnetic stirring hot plate until the sugar dissolves. How we can make the sugar solution? To make the sugar solution, we will heat and stir the deionized water and sugar. These deionized water and the sugar are placed in a 250 ml beaker, and this 250 ml beaker is placed on a magnetic stirring hot plate. So, here the deionized water and sugar are mixed. They are mixed until the sugar dissolves. Cover the beaker with washcloth to minimize evaporation. Following reflex, pour the sugar solution through the condenser into the round bottom flask. So, after the preparation of the sugar solution and when the sugar is dissolved, by placing it on a magnetic stirring hot plate, we will cover the beaker. We will cover the beaker with the washed glass. So, by covering the beaker with the washed glass, the evaporation will be minimized. So, by following the reflex condition, we will pour the sugar solution by using the condenser into the round bottom flask. So, now we will go toward the further process. Add glycerine through a neck on the flask. Stir the solution, add reflex an additional 10 minutes and then allow it to cool at 60 degrees centigrade. After making of the sugar solution, we will add the glycerine through a neck on the flask. After the addition of glycerine and the mixture, we will stir this solution. We will stir this solution by following the reflex condition. This mixture is stirred for about 10 minutes. After stirring up this mixture for about 10 minutes, we will allow this mixture to cool. This mixture is cooled at 60 degrees centigrade. Add scent and food coloring drop by drop to desired shade through a neck on the flask. So after the addition of glycerine and stirring and cooling of the mixture, we will add scent and food colors in the mixture. The scent and food color are added drop by drop to desired shade in the mixture through the neck on the flask. Stir the solution a few minutes and pour it into the molds or weighing bowls. So, after the addition of scent and food colors into the mixture, we will stir the solution for a few minutes. After stirring up the solution for a few minutes, we will pour the solution into the molds or the weighing balance. To promote transparency, leave the molds in the open. Within a few hours, the soap will harden. So, to produce a transparent soap or to promote the transparency, we will leave the mixture and the molds in the open. After about few hours, the soap will harden. So here the transparent soap is prepared. Hazards. So what are the hazards? Sodium hydroxide is caustic and can cause serious burns. So the sodium hydroxide, which is used in the formulation of the soap, has a disadvantage that it can cause a serious burn. On contact, touch the affected area with water. So, if the sodium hydroxide or the presence of sodium hydroxide causes serious burns, we can flush the affected area with water because hot oils with burns avoid contact. There are certain oils which are present in the formulation of soap. So, if the oils are hot, they can burn the skin. So, by choosing the hot oil, we need to avoid it with the contact with the skin because they can cause the serious burns. Since ethanol Essential fragrance oils are flammable. Keep away from the flames. The ethanol and the fragrance oils which are used in the formulation of soap are highly flammable. So, when the ethanol and the essential oils are used in the formulation of soap, keep them away from the flames because they are highly flammable. So, the materials which are used in the formulation of soap are handled with a great care because they can cause a serious burns or the illness. Assignments. Assignment number 1 is what is bonification sap value, how we can calculate it. Assignment number 2. Assignment number 2 is what are the benefits and disadvantages of lauric acid in soap formulation.